She thinks I disappeared because I didn't love her. The words spilled from Logan Whitaker's mouth like broken glass, and he hated how true they sounded. They weren't shouted, they weren't whispered, just spoken numb raw, in a voice stripped of the armor he'd worn for most of his life. And in that moment, the titan of Whitestone Systems wasn't a CEO or a polished man of power. He was a father unraveling, because nothing had prepared him for the way a 7-year-old girl had looked at him and asked, "Are you going to leave again?" And he couldn't answer. Behind every empire he had built was the one person he hadn't known he was meant to protect. Now that he did, could he repair the damage he never realized he caused? Stay with this story, because what happens next will shake everything you expect about redemption, fatherhood, and the healing power of a child's belief. Something you won't see coming is about to unfold, and it begins with a choice that could save a life or shatter 3. The Grand Lexington Hotel shimmered beneath crystal chandeliers and velvet drapes, the ballroom pulsing with the gentle rhythm of a live orchestra. Fathers in sleek tuxedos twirled daughters in tulle and satin, their laughter mingling with the soft clink of champagne glasses. It was a night meant for smiles and memories. Logan Whitaker, CEO of Whitestone Systems, stood alone near the marble bar, a tumbler of single malt scotch resting lightly in his hand. His tailored suit sat perfectly against his frame, every inch of him engineered for power and control. He wasn't here for the children, not really. Corporate sponsorship of the Children's Hospital Gala was just another item on his PR checklist. Pose for photos, make a donation, leave before dessert. He was halfway through a mindless conversation about quarterly projections with a fellow executive when he felt a slight tug on his sleeve. A child he thought absently probably lost. He turned. She stood barely chest-high, dressed in pale blue, with a satin ribbon tied in her chestnut hair. Her hazel eyes, calm, direct, and disturbingly familiar, locked onto his. "Excuse me," she said with unsettling confidence. "Would you dance with me?" Logan blinked, thrown off balance by the formality in her tone. He glanced around. "I think you've got the wrong person, sweetheart. Your father must be nearby." She didn't even flinch. "No mistake. You're Logan Whitaker, CEO of Whitestone Systems." He hesitated, amused at first, then cautious. "Who are you?" She squared her shoulders. "My name is Emma Whitaker. I'm 7 years old, and you're my father." The world stopped. The orchestra played on glasses, clinked, but Logan's ears buzzed with static. Her face, her eyes, that jawline. It hit him like a truck barreling through the silence he'd so carefully constructed around his past. "Sarah Dawson," she continued. "My mom. You left before I was born. She said you knew." Logan's voice barely worked. "That's not possible." She tilted her head. "I found you on Google, and Mom kept a box of photos and articles. She didn't know I'd seen them." He stared at her, throat dry, her hand still extended. "Just one dance," she said. "That's all I came for." He was conscious of cameras, eyes, the press, the risk. But there was something about her, a steadiness far too mature for a 7-year-old, that made it impossible to walk away. He set his glass down. "One dance," he whispered. They stepped onto the floor. Her hand was small and warm in his. As the music swelled, she counted softly under her breath, guiding his feet with focus and precision. "Michael taught me," she said after a beat. "Mom's friend. He takes me to father-daughter events sometimes." Logan's jaw clenched. The surge of something, jealousy, regret, cut through his polished exterior. "Does your mother know you're here?" Emma hesitated. "She thinks I'm at a sleepover. With Lily." "You can't just sneak off like that. I had to meet you," she interrupted. "Just once." He looked down at her. "Why now?" She looked up at him with sudden vulnerability. "Because I needed to know if you were real." Across the city, Claire Dawson stood frozen in her living room, gripping a teddy bear, and the phone, her voice trembling. "Lily's mom said the sleepover never happened. Michael, she's missing. I'm checking again," said Brian Carter calmly. "Try her iPad. Search history." Claire rushed into Emma's room. The browser was wiped, but the photo gallery held the answer screenshots of the Children's Hospital Gala. Her heart dropped. She's at the Grand Lexington. Back in the ballroom, Logan and Emma stepped off the floor. "You're taller than I expected," she said, sipping from a glass of sparkling cider. "You really shouldn't be here alone," Logan muttered. "I used Mom's Uber account. The driver thought I was meeting my dad." He stared at her, unsure if he was more shocked by her nerve or her intelligence. "I need to call your mother." "Not yet," she said, her voice suddenly shaky. "I have questions first." He crouched down eye level. "Emma, I didn't know about you, but Mom said she told you." "That night," he exhaled. "That night." Claire crying, shouting something about being pregnant. He had assumed she was trying to manipulate him. The relationship had already fallen apart. He had walked out. "I didn't believe her," he admitted quietly. "And then I never checked." Emma nodded. "So? You didn't leave because of me. You just didn't think I was real." Something inside him cracked. Before he could speak, a sudden wave of motion overtook the ballroom entrance. Claire burst in, wild-eyed, Brian close behind. Emma's shoulders hunched. "She's going to be so mad." "With good reason," Logan said instinctively, placing a hand on her shoulder. Claire spotted them instantly. 8 years of silence collapsed in one electric stare. "You should go to her," he said softly. Emma's voice caught. "Will I see you again?" He hesitated. Then Claire was there, grabbing Emma, her voice trembling with restrained fury. "Do you understand how dangerous that was? You're 7 years old, Emma." Emma bowed her head. "I just wanted to meet him." Claire clutched her tighter. "Promise me never again." "I promise." Logan stepped back, heart thudding. He'd never felt this exposed. Claire turned to him, fire in her eyes. "You danced with her. You talked to her. You let her believe she told me 15 minutes ago," Logan said, trying to stay calm. "I didn't even know she existed." "Don't lie to me," Claire snapped. "I told you I was pregnant. And then you vanished. I thought I was opening the Singapore office. My lawyer changed your number, blocked me, sent divorce papers." Logan's voice was tight. "I didn't know, I swear." Claire's eyes shimmered. "Well, now you do. So what are you going to do? Logan walk away again? Or be her father?" She turned away, leading Emma and Brian out into the corridor. Logan stood still, the music swelling again around him like background noise in a dream. Then he noticed something in his pocket. Paper, folded carefully. He opened it. A paper star. Inside, written in messy, careful handwriting. "This is Mom's number. Call if you want to be my dad. Emma Whitaker." He stood in that ballroom, once a place of polished distance, and now it felt like the most real place in the world. We're so sorry to pause here, but the next part of the story will take you even deeper into Logan's struggle between guilt redemption and a second chance he never thought he'd be given. What would you do if you were in Logan's shoes, face the past, or walk away again? If this story moved you even just a little, please like the video and tap the heart to support these emotional journeys. Your support keeps us going. 3 days had passed. 3 long, restless days since Logan Whitaker had stepped out of the Grand Lexington Hotel with a paper star trembling in his fingers and the name of a daughter he never knew etched into his soul. He had tried to bury himself in work, crunched numbers, restructured forecasts, taken meetings with board members whose voices sounded like white noise. But Emma's voice cut through everything, her calm certainty, her hazel eyes that mirrored his own, and that final handwritten message, "Call if you want to be my dad." Now in the dim glow of his penthouse office, Logan stared at a manila envelope on his glass desk. Inside were DNA test results rushed through a private lab. He didn't need them. Emma's face had told him everything. Still, the words burned: 99% probability of paternity. His phone buzzed again. Brian Carter, 3rd time today. Logan didn't answer. Instead, he poured himself a glass of scotch and opened the origami star again, smoothing it flat with trembling fingers. A knock came at the door. He opened it to find Claire Dawson. Her arms were crossed, her eyes sharp as glass. "Michael called me," she said flatly, stepping inside. Logan blinked. "Brian." "I still call him Michael." Her gaze dropped to the DNA results on the table. "Was that necessary for me?" "Yeah," Logan said, suddenly unsure of anything, except the weight on his chest. "Claire, I didn't know. I told you I was pregnant. I didn't believe you, because it was easier not to." The words hit harder than he expected. She looked around the apartment, immaculate, cold, and echoing with silence. "Emma's been asking if you'll call. She's wondering if she did something wrong." Logan swallowed. "That's not what I meant to happen," She doesn't care about your intentions, Logan. She only knows you danced with her and then disappeared again. He winced. Michael Bryan had told him the rest. About Claire raising Emma alone. About double shifts, night classes, and quiet strength. About Emma's diagnosis. Is Emma okay? Logan asked carefully. Claire exhaled, all composure, vanishing in a single breath. No, she has a rare blood disorder, diamond black fan anemia. Her bone marrow isn't producing enough red blood cells. She needs monthly transfusions. Her body's starting to reject them. The world tilted. Is it terminal? It can be, she said quietly. Unless she gets a bone marrow transplant. We've tested everyone we could. I'm not a match. Brian isn't either. She let the silence linger just long enough for the truth to crush him. You think I could be? I don't think, Logan. I hope. He turned away, staring at the city lights blinking outside his penthouse window. Everything he'd built, Whitestone systems, the accolades, the money, none of it mattered now. Not when a little girl in a hospital gown was running out of time. When can I get tested tomorrow? The specialist cleared your schedule. He looked at her. I called your assistant, Claire admitted. I know you, Logan. You'd need a push. He smiled bitterly. I deserve that. No, she said. You deserve the chance to do something good. The following morning, Logan stood in the brightly colored hallway of the pediatric oncology ward at Boston Mercy Hospital. Murals of cartoon animals danced across the walls, but the air carried the sterile edge of survival. Claire paused outside a door decorated with glittery paper stars. She doesn't know why you're really here, she warned. As far as Emma knows, this is just a visit. Logan nodded. And if I'm a match, then we tell her together. Inside, Emma sat on the hospital bed in purple pajamas, a chessboard on her lap facing off against Brian. She spotted Logan and immediately straightened, trying to appear casual. You came, she said, smiling. I said I would, Logan replied, stepping closer. You look tired, she observed, already moving a night. Work stuff, he chuckled. A bit, Brian winked. Don't underestimate her. She's ruthless. I'm learning that. A nurse knocked. Mr. Whitaker, we're ready for you. Emma's gaze sharpened, ready for what Claire stepped in. Just some routine tests, nothing to worry about. Emma's eyes narrowed. In the oncology ward, Logan admired her intuition. I'll be right back, he promised. The procedure was painless, a vial of blood, a few forms of consultation, but the gravity was unbearable. Dr. Rachel Evans, calm and precise, reviewed his chart. You show potential compatibility, but we'll need further testing. And if I'm a match, the procedure involves extracting marrow from your pelvic bone. About 2 hours. Recovery's manageable. Logan nodded. Dr. Evans hesitated. You just met her, didn't you? Yes, some people never show up. You did. Later that afternoon, Logan returned to Emma's room. Claire and Brian had stepped out. Emma was alone playing with a tiny telescope. Are you sick too? She asked without looking up. No. Then why the tests? He sat down. Emma, what do you know about your condition? She sighed. My bone marrow's lazy. I get tired. I need other people's blood. Sometimes medicine helps, sometimes it doesn't. And has anyone mentioned transplants? She stilled. Only when things get serious. He nodded. They're just exploring options. Emma studied him. Would you do it? Give me yours, yes. He said, no hesitation. Her small hand slid into his, squeezing tightly. Thank you. Then quieter. Does this mean you're staying? The words landed like a stone in his chest. Before he could answer, Claire and Brian returned. The moment passed. In the hallway, Dr. Evans met them again. Preliminary results look good. Very promising. We'll know for sure by Friday. As they stepped out into the hospital parking lot, the city breeze cutting through the early spring air, Claire turned to him. She has chess club tomorrow, 4 p.m., Maple Street Community Center. Logan stopped walking. Can I come? Claire studied him, unsure. Then yes, but don't make promises you won't keep. Logan watched her drive away, Emma's paper star still in his pocket. We know this is where the story leaves you holding your breath, but don't worry, there's more to come. If you were in Logan's position, would you risk everything, career pride, comfort for a second chance at fatherhood? Tell us in the comments below. And if this story touched you, please like the video and tap the heart to help us keep sharing these powerful journeys. The scent of spring clung to the breeze as Logan Whitaker parked outside the Maple Street Community Center. Children's laughter spilled from the open windows, punctuated by the occasional clack of chess pieces and whispered strategy. Logan sat in his car for a moment longer than necessary, gripping the steering wheel like it was the only thing keeping him grounded. He'd been here before in boardrooms and high-stakes negotiations, but nothing had prepared him for the quiet vulnerability of fatherhood, especially the kind that came years too late. Inside, he spotted her immediately. Emma, seated at the front, leaned over a chessboard, brow furrowed in focus. Her fingers hovered over the knight before committing to a move. Her opponent, a boy twice her size, blinked in confusion. Checkmate. Logan couldn't help the quiet laugh that escaped him. She was remarkable. Not because she won, but because she carried herself with such determined grace. That confidence didn't come from him, not yet, but he hoped someday it might. Sarah appeared beside him, seemingly out of nowhere. "She's been asking if you'd come," she said softly. He nodded. "I didn't want to disappoint her." "She's 7, Sarah replied. "Showing up is everything." As Emma accepted her ribbon from the coach, her eyes scanned the room. She spotted Logan. Her face brightened just for a second before she quickly composed herself. She made her way over her steps, brisk. "You made it," she said with mock casualness. "I said I would," Logan replied. Sarah placed a hand gently on Emma's shoulder. "We got a call from Dr. Evans. The test results came back early." Logan held his breath. "You're a match," Sarah said, her voice carrying both relief and something harder to define. "A very good one." Emma's expression shifted from curiosity to wide-eyed realization. "That means you can help me, right?" He nodded. "The procedure's scheduled for Monday." Emma was silent for a beat, then nodded. "Okay, just okay. No tears, no theatrics, just the quiet resilience of a child who'd already accepted more than most adults ever have to." On Monday morning, hospital lights buzzed softly above them. Logan sat in a paper gown waiting. He'd signed consent forms, cleared his schedule, and shut off his phone. For once, the world could wait. Before being wheeled in, he asked to see Emma. She was in her hospital bed, pale but alert. Her favorite purple blanket was tucked up to her chin. "You nervous?" she asked. "A little," Logan admitted. "I am too," she whispered, "but mostly excited." He blinked. "Excited? If it works, I'll be stronger. I can go back to school, maybe even dance again." She reached out, her small hand curling around his fingers. "Thank you for doing this. Even though I surprised you. Even though you didn't have to." Logan's voice was low, full of emotion. "You didn't surprise me, Emma. You woke me up." Hours later, when he woke groggy and aching, Sarah was there. "It went well," she told him. "They're doing the transplant now. Emma's resting." He nodded, tears burning his eyes. "Thank you for letting me do this, for not shutting the door." "She chose you," Logan, Sarah said gently. "I just listened." 6 weeks passed. Emma's hair began to grow back. Her cheeks filled out. Her laugh returned. They took walks in the park, visited the Science Museum, and built a Lego solar system on his kitchen table. Logan bought a small apartment 10 minutes from Sarah's place and filled one bedroom with everything Emma loved: books, telescopes, puzzles, a framed photo of her hospital discharge day. At her 10th birthday party, Emma announced to a crowd of giggling friends and awkward adults that she wanted to be an astronomer. When asked why, she said simply, "Because I like understanding things that were once far away." Logan looked at Sarah across the yard. That one hit him square in the chest. Later that evening, as twilight blanketed the city, Emma handed Logan an envelope. Inside was a thank you card she'd made. Purple stars and glitter everywhere. And beneath her drawing, written in tidy pencil, "You're my dad now. For real." He couldn't speak, just hugged her tightly and held on like he was afraid the moment might dissolve. That night, sitting beside Sarah on her porch steps while Emma fell asleep to the sound of crickets, Logan finally asked the question he'd been avoiding. Do you think she forgives me?" Sarah stared up at the stars. "Emma doesn't carry grudges, Logan. She carries hope." They sat in silence, the kind that didn't need to be filled. A year later, at the very same Grand Lexington hotel where it all began, Emma and Logan returned to the charity gala, this time side by side. Emma wore a lavender dress and a necklace shaped like Saturn. She was glowing. Logan had donated an entire wing to the Children's Hospital in her name. The Emma Whitaker Pediatric Research Fellowship was already funding trials for children just like her. When the music began, she looked up at him. "May I have this dance?" He smiled. "I would be honored." They danced under the chandeliers again, this time with no secrets between them. Just music, movement, and the joy of something long lost and finally found. Somewhere nearby, Sarah watched them with a quiet smile. Not bitter, not sad, just proud. Sometimes second chances don't knock. Sometimes they walk right up to you and ask, "Will you dance with me?" And if you're lucky enough to say yes, they change everything. Now that you've seen how far this journey has come, let me ask you, have you ever experienced a second chance that changed your life? Do you believe some connections are destined no matter how long it takes? What do you think about this story? If it touched your heart, please comment. No. 3 below. If you think it still needs something, number 1. And if it felt just okay, number 2. Also, let us know where in the world you're watching from. And don't forget to tap the heart and share this video with someone who still believes in the power of healing and hope.